Ladies and gentlemen, I'm thrilled to introduce the PlayStation 4.
For the first time, let me now unveil Xbox.
Our next generation portable is officially named PlayStation Vita.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Xbox One.
Well, the wait is over. This is Nintendo DS.
So today, welcome to the world of Wii U.
Welcome to episode 17 of the 411, folks. My name is Scott. My co-host is Jake.
I think that extended period of time before you said my name is Scott pretty much sums up the week we've had.
The week you've had.
Yeah, the week I've had.
I paused because I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, really? Well, I just thought, you know.
And you interrupted my intro.
Sorry, go on.
We are back, and we are ready to talk games. A lot of games, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't actually count how many there were on this list, but there's about 100 or something. I don't know. E3's finished. So what did you think?
Yeah, pretty... You know, there were parts I really liked, but overall, like, meh. What?
I thought some conferences were really good.
Yeah.
There's one that I fucking hated.
We'll get to that, I guess.
Are you thinking the same one?
Oh, I don't know, because I hated a few of them.
Oh, okay. I didn't mind a few of them. Just one was like, oh, okay, yeah, I hated two.
Yeah. I think we're on the same page, because
Yeah.
we're actually on the same page.
Well, first of all, we're going to go through pretty much every game, talk about every single game that came up at E3. But first, let's just go through the conferences and what we thought of the conferences. First up was EA. And I didn't think that they would actually have sort of a conference, but they kind of had like a mini 40-minute thing at the start.
Even in last week's episode, because it was called EA Play, that just, to me, that seemed like they would do Let's Plays and more gameplay. This was just felt like a conference.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did... Did you watch anything after the conference?
No.
Well, they did kind of thing like a Nintendo thing, where they pretty much played games, like they did for the Treehouse. But I did only watch a few sort of, I don't know, maybe half an hour of them playing Battlefield 1. They had like Snoop Dogg and Zac Efron. And
I did watch
playing.
that.
Yeah.
Gavin and Bernie from Rooster Teeth were on that too.
Oh, were they? Okay, yeah. So, I don't know, that was alright, I guess. I don't know, it's just like weird for us, like, we want to watch something, like, we're not there, we don't go to E3, so I'd rather just a conference, a succinct conference where they just announce games and that's it, move on. But, so EA was just fucking shit.
Well,
because they didn't announce anything new besides this game called Fee or Fae.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, when he came out and spoke about that game, he actually called it Fee, and then he called it Fae. I don't think he knows what it's fucking called.
Did he call it two things?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, yeah. Other than that,
EA have these weird cycles where I remember probably 2 years ago, EA's press conference was also like, wow, look at these games we have coming out in the future. And they're all just like, they've got footage of developers working on the game where it's like, that game's not going to be out for 2 years or something.
Yeah.
And then now that, for example, that thing 2 years ago where they were showing Battlefront and Mirror's Edge, where they were just developers working on it, no gameplay to show. Now that those games are out, that cycle's over. Now they're back on that cycle where games like Titanfall 2 and those upcoming Star Wars projects are just basic kind of...
I was right with that, by the way. Remember how we sort of spoke about how I
Star Wars games?
All those Star Wars games are coming out?
Yeah, you were right with another thing, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
Let's just go through the games for EA anyway.
Okay.
They started with Titanfall 2.
Well, I actually really like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big fan of the first Titanfall, and it's cool to see some improvements happening, except for, like, everyone bitched about the single-player campaign not being in Titanfall 1, but when they announced it this time and they talked about, they gave a trailer about the single-player, it looks not great.
Yeah, well, still, I think it's one of those games where it's just mainly focused on multiplayer. Like, when you have those Call of Duty games and all that,
then why do people want a single player out of it?
I don't know.
I'd play it, but it just to me, the story seemed like one of your Titans is going to be
Do they speak like that in the first game?
who?
The Titans.
I don't think they do speak.
It's kind of like when in the first Halo, the Covenant just grunted, like the elites, and in the second game, they gave them voices.
Sure.
You know, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, but this seems like you want to get emotionally attached to a hunk of metal.
Yeah, yeah. Which is kind of cool. You know, it's your Titan. It's like, you know, your machine buddy at this wartime or something. I don't know.
Sure.
So you feel something when your Titan gets blown up.
Yeah, I'll
You know, instead of evacuating, no, I'm gonna go with you. Save yourself.
Yeah. I don't know, but it just looks. It just looks more faster paced in terms of multiplayer. It looks more fast paced and more exciting, really. So I'm actually pretty keen on that.
The wall running and all that looks pretty cool. It was like wall running and then jumping into a window and coming out.
You could do that in the first one.
Yeah, it just looked. I don't know, better when you both evacuated your Titan and then you fling something to pull him in.
Yeah, like a grapple kind of thing.
Yeah, grapple kind of thing. Pull him in and then I mean that was pretty cool. Yeah, it's a game that I'm not going to get though. I'm not really into that sort of thing.
Right.
We can kind of do a buyer denier through this whole thing if we
Right.
want. So
Did they mention a date for that?
October 28th.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Madden 17. Do you want to talk about this?
Nah, they're all the same.
Yeah. So,
Oh, but no, that's coming up. Okay, go on.
Mass Effect Andromeda didn't really spend long on it, just showed a trailer. And I don't think they came out and spoke about it or anything. It was just literally a trailer.
I think that was another thing where they showed like devs working on it again, didn't they?
Briefly, though.
Okay.
It really wasn't much on it. So, which is weird. I mean, because it was supposed to be coming out this year and it was just delayed. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I figured they had at least something more to show than that.
yeah. Well, I mean, what can you show of Mass Effect? Like, you know, so much of it is story based that you don't want to spoil anything. Or
Anything could be a spoiler.
Yeah.
Pretty much, you know.
I mean, sure, they can cut together like a cinematic trailer, but how's that going to portray the vision of the game? I guess whatever.
As we go through this list, do you want to sort of pick, I don't know, the number one game from each conference, sort of the one game that you stood out to you the most?
Yeah.
And maybe after the whole thing, we could choose a 4-1-1 folks game of E3.
So we have to decide on one?
Yeah, we do.
Well, you already know what mine is, but
Yeah.
do I know what yours is?
No, I don't think I have one. I think I'll make my mind up as we go through. FIFA 17 was next. You don't really play FIFA, but this added in. They're working with Frostbite now, so it's their new engine. Which the only sport game they've actually used this in so far is Rory McIlroy PGA Tour. So there's going to be an actual graphics update this time. It should be noticeable for a FIFA game, and they've also added in managers. So when you're on the sidelines, you can see your manager sort of yelling at you or whatever, doing things depending on how your team's going. They've also got an actual story mode this time, and this was
This made me laugh so much.
well, this is something that was sort of introduced in NBA 2K, and they've got this story mode where you do create your own player and you go sort of through. Like, it's mostly at the beginning of the game when you're starting out your career, and then when you get sort of famous and big or whatever, the kind of story just stops and you're just playing your career like you would normally would. But the difference is, in NBA, you create your own player, create what it looks like, create his name and everything. This game seems to be just you have to play as this Alex Hunter dude.
Oh, I mean, I maybe he's a well. What about maybe he's a preset one, but
like the commentators were saying his name.
oh, maybe
You know.
that was just cut together for the E3 thing.
Maybe, but they just didn't explain it well because I was left confused. Like, can you make your own player and do this story? Because obviously this story mode is in high demand from those NBA games, and in those NBA games you could make your own player, you could make yourself, and they didn't really clarify whether you could do that with the FIFA games or you had to play with this guy, because it seemed like you just had to play with this guy.
And playing as one player is not in the spirit of FIFA games.
No, I mean they already do have that. you can create yourself in the FIFA games, but there's no story or anything. It's like a normal career mode. It's if it is something like you have to play as this Alex Hunter dude, it's something I'm not gonna play.
It just the way they cut that trailer together, it looks so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty corny, pretty cringy. But again, those NBA games when they do it as well is pretty cringy as well. So, but you know,
sure, yeah.
We'll move on to Fee or Faye.
Yeah, this is pretty forgettable, I guess.
Yeah.
It looked... I mean, that he talked about how it's a game with no words. That was pretty interesting to me.
It's all about your relationship with nature and how we're all connected to all these sort of animals and everything. Because isn't it like you sort of talk to your animals and then they be friends with you and they can take you to different places and all that? And
yeah.
That's how you get to... I don't know.
It's weird how EA is striking this... Because wasn't this guy from, like, Scandinavia or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some weird accent.
And because remember last year they had that Yanni thing.
Yeah.
And he was also from Scandinavia, or definitely that same country. And it's just weird how EA now tapping this odd, this odd thing of developers, indie developers out of this same country, and they seem to be producing the same kind of emotionally kind of games, which is weird. But different, so whatever.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say on Faye.
Yeah, whatever.
FIFA.
Ugh.
Then they went on to the whole Star Wars games thing. They didn't really announce any new Star Wars games. They sort of talked about they've got a lot in the works. Well, there was like 5 games that they're making right now.
Yeah, I feel like they could have... Yeah, I could have done without this quote-unquote announcement because it wasn't really anything.
Yeah.
But
it lets you know that there's lots coming, you know. Obviously, there are none that are close to sort of being finished. Otherwise, they would have showed us something from one of them. But they're coming, which is sort of following the same schedule as when all those other Star Wars movies come out. Episode 1, 2, and 3. It was around the time when Episode 2 came out that all those Star Wars games were hitting the shelves. So it's sort of following that same trend.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say about this Star Wars thing is that Amy Hennig, she's the writer of one of these new Star Wars games that are coming up, and she used to write for the Uncharted series. She sounds exactly like George Lucas.
Why? What do you mean?
Her voice.
Really?
The way she talks, she sounds exactly like George Lucas.
I didn't pick
You
it
go
up.
back now and watch it, and you'll see George Lucas.
Really?
Yeah.
Just close your eyes. And it's George.
Yeah. But that's it. You know, more Star Wars is good. So, and they did show like a 3-second thing of some guy walking out into, I believe it was probably Tatooine or something.
Yeah,
and ships were flying past, which was cool.
Yeah.
I guess, but whatever.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Yeah. Well, even Battlefront 2 has got me excited, and they didn't.
Because pretty much the entire Xbox 360 and PS3 generation was sort of skipped over. I mean, there were some Star Wars games, but they really were all on the Xbox and PS2 era. And now we're getting sort of all these new ones for the current generation. So, yeah, pretty exciting. The last game that they focused on was Battlefield 1. They spent a bit of time on that. You sort of excited for Battlefield 1 at all?
Looks interesting. I don't know if I'll get it though.
I don't. It's not something I'll get, but it's good to see them do something different.
Because I want to talk about Call of Duty coming up later.
Yeah.
Because I'll just say that Battlefield 1, like you're right, it's doing something different. It's trying new things. So
if you're a sort of a fan of these war games, you get your World War One game. People have been asking for something like that. You get a space war game for Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and you get your Modern Warfare game in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered.
True. Yeah.
You get all 3. So
Nothing to complain about.
nothing at all. And they all look like really good games as well.
The graphics, did they actually show proper... Yeah, they showed proper gameplay of this, didn't they?
Of
Graphics,
Battlefield 1, yeah.
Probably the best graphics I saw from E3.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of the entire E3?
Yeah? Why? What else?
I don't know. Nothing comes to mind, but I don't know. They didn't like wow me.
Wow, they did for me. I always found Battlefield games to be like the most graphically impressive games I've ever seen.
I always find them to be really good sound effects, like the gunshots and everything. I always found them to be way better than the Call of Duty ones. Like,
Sure.
Immersive.
Yes.
So game of the show game of EA. What do you think?
I would say Titanfall 2 easily.
I would say Mass Effect Andromeda, but I'll have to go with something else just because they didn't show much of it. So I'm going to go with FIFA.
Okay.
I don't know. That's I like FIFA, so
Yeah.
I'll go with FIFA. Let's move on to Bethesda.
This
So-
all happened in the one day, didn't it?
Yeah,
This
these two.
was like this time last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So EA, I left there pretty disappointed because there was nothing announced, no new things that would, except for Fee or Faye. And Bethesda, a lot of new announcements.
I was very happy with Bethesda.
Yeah, it was a really good conference. I was sort of like, I mean, when they first did their conference last year, I was like, okay, this is a one-off thing just because they want to do something with Fallout 4. And there was always these things, oh yeah, they're gonna show most of it at Fallout 4. There's gonna be some side things that they talk about, like Dishonored, a new Dishonored game or whatever. It seems like this time Dishonored was their main game.
Yep.
Which didn't make sense to me because it's Dishonored 2. It's not like a Fallout.
They're trying to
game
make
or-
it to be like that, though. Can't you say?
Yeah, they're trying, but it didn't really work. I don't think.
That really pulled me in. I really liked it.
The whole conference was amazing, except the end when they spent way too long on Dishonored 2.
Sure, it did go on for a little bit long, but it sold me.
Okay.
So it worked on me. So that's all I'll say.
Straight away, within 3 seconds of the conference, you knew there was going to be a new Quake game when they typed in Quake.
Oh, see, I missed that.
Oh, right. Okay.
I tuned in just too late
Yeah.
for that. Yep.
No, that was a cool way to announce a new game. 3 seconds in, and announced a game. You know what it's called and everything. Then they showed some gameplay of a trailer. Not gameplay, just a trailer. So what do you think of this Quake Champions? It's PC only. Multiplayer only, I think, as well. So
Well, then neither of us will ever play it, but
neither of us have ever played a Quake as well.
yeah. So, but I know this will please a lot of people. So that's pretty cool.
From what it looked like, it was just so fast paced gameplay. I mean, is that what Doom is pretty much like? Very fast paced.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same. It's the same. In software, and it's the same.
Yeah,
it's
same
coming
people,
from the same generation of first-person shooters
Yeah.
from old PC days, and they're just trying to revive it. So
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like what people have been after, and they get Quake back. So
Mhm.
awesome. Elder Scrolls Legends. I forgot. Is this the card game?
Yes.
Yeah. So they spent a bit of time on that. It's for PC, iPad, phones, all this kind of thing. So yeah, something I'm not really gonna get into.
I mean, depends if it's probably not free, hey, but I really got into Hearthstone, which is the only. Is that what's called Hearthstone?
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Hearth. Oh well, that card, that World of Warcraft card
Yeah,
game.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I really got into that. So, and I don't relate to the World of Warcraft universe at all, but I at least know some of the Elder Scrolls universe. So maybe it might this one might appeal to me a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so after this, they got into some Fallout 4 DLC. One bit of the Fallout 4 DLC looked cool, which was the build your own vault.
Mhm.
That was cool. Then they showed some weird shit like this conveyor belt thing and this factory kind of thing. What is that?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's that kind of thing where I don't care about it, and I would never ever use it in the game. But I'm excited to see what people do with it.
Yeah. The only bad thing about that, I mean, what looked cool was the vault thing, right? But it showed gameplay of you building the vault, and it seems like it's still that same building mechanics from when we tried to build houses or whatever in your little town, and it's just shit building mechanics. Hey,
Yeah.
it's hard to just put things together, and then the floors don't match up and everything. It's crap the way they've got it set up.
Yeah, I don't know if they've fixed that or not. So
Well, if it's a DLC, there should be something. I mean, there should be updates to fix that because it wasn't good at all. So
remember that, and towards the end they showed that theme park thing, Nuka-Cola or something theme park.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's another bit of DLC coming.
Yeah, yeah.
So that looks alright.
Yeah. Fallout Shelter. They've got some quests coming for the and a PC version for Fallout Shelter, so that was announced as well. The next thing was really exciting for me. Skyrim Special Edition. Looked cool. They didn't really spend any time on it. They just showed some graphics comparisons. But yeah, it looks really cool. I don't know if I'm going to get it though. I played the PS3 one for 100 hours and nothing's different about the game. They've got graphic updates, they've got mods, but that's it. Like, the game's not any different. I don't know whether I can play it again.
That's the definition of remaster, Scott.
I know. Like, the idea excites me that they're bringing it out for Xbox One. But I have no idea if I'm going to get it yet, though.
Yeah, this no, I'm not into this at all. So the thing I did read a couple of days after this was announced is that people who bought the Legendary Edition of Skyrim, which I bought, which includes all the DLC, or people who bought Skyrim and then later on bought all of the DLC separately, can upgrade to a free version of this version of Skyrim. But so far that's only confirmed for Steam players.
Right. Yeah, because how would they know? Like, it's...
Yeah, I know.
It's, too hard to tell.
Yeah.
Whether you're on Steam. Yeah, it makes sense for Steam, but for people like us, I think we're going to have to pay full price. Not that you will. A new game was announced straight after that, Prey.
Oh, yeah, this got me...
I had no idea what it was until, when the title came up, so...
I did this a lot during E3, I was stupidly following along with Twitter as the conference was going on.
Idiot!
Yep. And then as trailers were happening and halfway through, people would say, "Oh, OMG, this is Prey." And I'm like, man, whatever.
Yeah.
So that happened to me a few times. But I don't know, this is probably one of my most favourite, what would you call it, like cinematic trailers of the entire E3.
Looked really cool.
Yeah. The whole concept of it just really excites me.
Yeah.
And I've never played a Prey game.
Yeah. So this is Prey 3?
Well, no.
Or Prey 2?
No, Prey 2's never even come out.
Oh, okay.
Prey 2, just from what I read, Prey 2 was a project in development which got cancelled.
Yeah.
And this seems like it's just like a reboot.
Yeah.
And these are made by the guys who make Dishonored, and he said it's coming next year, so...
It's cool. I mean, they've got Quake coming back, Doom's back, they've got Prey coming back.
Yeah?
They got all their franchises coming back, so it's cool.
It's cool for people like us who've never played these franchises ever in the past.
Yeah. They only showed a trailer of Prey, so I mean, when they showed just trailers, it seems like the game's sort of a bit far off. So I don't expect it to be out next year at all.
Oh, really? Not even next year?
I don't think so. When they show just a trailer, it'll probably be a main game at next year's E3 kind of thing,
That still means they could come out end of next year.
Maybe. But they showed some Doom updates, DLC.
Man, that multiplayer is struggling, hey?
Really?
I think I said this a couple of weeks ago, but the servers are empty.
It's not good. Not good.
So maybe this will get some people interested. Maybe.
Yeah. Elder Scrolls Online, they came out and talked about that a bit. They said that they're going to release it in Japan now. They had a Dark Brotherhood DLC, so that looks pretty cool, because I love the Dark Brotherhood. You sort of become an assassin. I love assassin missions. And also, they came out with a thing called One Tamriel, so it's pretty much no level restrictions. As soon as you boot up the game, you're allowed to go anywhere you want. So for people who are like me, who haven't got Elder Scrolls Online, it's pretty inviting to hear something like that. So not that it convinced me to get it, but I'm not going to get it. But it made me start to think about getting it.
That's
they nearly got me.
That's the least convincing form of commitment, isn't it?
Yeah,
It just made me start to think
it
about
maybe
possibly thinking
it
about
made me
getting
think about it, because as soon as Elder Scrolls and Online was announced, I'd be like, nope, not getting that. Now I've always thought that, until this dude come out and said One Tamriel, and I'm like, wow, that's cool. I'll think about it. And then I thought, no.
Your mind is going a mile a minute, isn't it?
And then they came out and blew everyone away, saying that Doom and Fallout 4 will be playable with VR.
Oh, see, when I first thought they started about talking about VR, I thought they were making a VR headset of their own.
Oh, Bethesda VR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, God, not another one.
No,
but yeah, some of the games will be in VR. Sounds cool.
Insane.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I don't think I could play Fallout 4 in VR the whole time. Like, a game that's sort of it's not graphically amazing, Fallout 4. I'd love to play a VR game that's like got a lot of really good graphics, more realistic kind of thing. Whereas if I put it on VR headset and play Fallout 4, it'd really be like I'm in this cartoon sort of world.
Yeah, that's interesting, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't speak to VR because I've never...
Yeah, we've never tried it.
No, but I don't know, it sounds interesting. Yeah.
They finished the show with Dishonored 2. It was such good pacing throughout the whole show. They just came out, introduced the game, left, went on to the next thing, and then Dishonored 2, I don't know, I just kind of felt like you knew it was the last thing as well, and you're always waiting for that, and just wait, there's one more thing to show you, but you knew this was going to be the last thing. That's why it sort of felt like it dragged on a bit. So there was just some gameplay that I kind of tuned out a bit.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I don't know. Like I said at the start, like there was enough gameplay shown and demoed to sell me on the game, and
so you're gonna get it.
I think I'll get it. And the way the developer was talking about how much detail was made into the world and how much thought was made into every little texture and part of the map and location, just I can really appreciate that. So I think I'm in.
Nice.
Cool.
So yeah, game of Bethesda.
Prey, even though nothing was shown. I'm just so interested in it.
Yeah. I think for me it'd have to be Skyrim.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only game in the show that... I mean, it was a good show, a lot of good games shown, but that was the only game in the show that made me go, yes! I want that! So, you know.
I don't think I ever did that at all. Screaming
Really?
out yes.
Okay. You're just not a very...
I mean,
person.
when what was his name? Todd Howard said, and we've got something else for you or something, and then the Skyrim music played.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, this is cool. Then it showed like barely anything. It said like improved water textures.
Yeah.
Better blah blah. I'm like,
I like how he introduced it. He said, you've been asking, and yes, we've been working on it. And then he's going to show Skyrim. What if it was just something completely different? It's like, I don't know, Doom 2, I don't know.
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah. Let's move on to Microsoft. So at this point, we saw EA, it was crap. Bethesda was really good. Then I saw Microsoft, and I'm like, these conferences just keep getting better. Microsoft was an awesome conference. Do you agree?
Nope.
What?
I was pretty bored.
How? I don't understand.
I mean, it was good. I didn't hate it like I hated E3.
They talked about so much, like everything. Like, I've got 2 pages worth of Microsoft stuff. Like, it was crazy. They just came out trailer after trailer and spoke about a few things that were important and left more trailers.
Yep.
So what don't you like about it?
I'll get to it. Let's
get into it. Okay. They came out Xbox One S straight away, confirmed it. That was already leaked anyway, so it was good that they started off with it. So yeah, Xbox One S is just a new console that's coming out later on this year. What is it? Just more powerful or something? No. This is the slimmer one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The next one we talk about later on is more powerful. So this is just a slimmer version. The big brick thing is inside the console. It's white now. Yeah, I don't know. Also, if you've got an original Xbox One, you can trade it in, and you can get the other Xbox One S for cheaper. So. Mm-hmm. Then they came out with Xbox Play Anywhere. So you buy it on Xbox, and you can also play it on Windows 10 if you've got a Windows PC. So it's pretty cool. I mean, you can pretty much play any game that you get on Xbox on your PC.
Well, no. I mean, just there's pretty much like first-party Microsoft games.
Yeah, but I mean, every game that they talked about, it said play it on both Xbox One and Windows 10.
Sure.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, exclusive sort of Microsoft games, but that's pretty much all they talked about as well. Let's get into games now. They started off with Gears of War 4. They showed some co-op gameplay. They showed a release date for October 11. And for this piece of gameplay, I was pretty bored shitless.
I was bored.
Like, it's just some dude shooting, killing, shooting. I was bored shitless with this gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, Gears of War is boring.
Gears of War is so boring.
I don't know how people find that interesting.
Well, yeah, and people can argue that Halo is boring, but nope. Gears of War is just big white men shooting.
Yeah.
So, nope.
No. Let's just move on. After that, they showed a Gears of War Elite controller.
Oh, yeah. This thing, it was pretty cool. I guess it's a controller, whatever. It was pretty cool that because it's an Elite controller, the detachable D-pad. It's got the actual guns on the D-pad. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
Of what guns you can switch to, and obviously you can map it differently and then switch it around. But that was about it.
All right, cool. They came out with some Killer Instinct DLC. Some dude came out. I don't know why he spent time talking about it. I mean, Killer Instinct. Who plays it? I
think it's a pretty big deal,
really?
Isn't it? Fighting community is pretty dedicated.
Anyway, I was actually pretty excited to hear who it was because they talked about it. Who did they introduce? They
some like big chieftain guy from Gears of War.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. General Ram.
Yeah.
But I was talking about how they one of their DLC was an Elite from Halo, was it?
The Arbiter.
Yeah, the Arbiter. Yeah.
Isn't that out already?
Yeah, but I was just gonna say, like, that's a really cool DLC character,
Yeah.
Like I would totally get the game just to play as the Arbiter, But then they came out as this General Ram dude. I had no idea who he was. So is he from Gears of War? Is he?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, had no idea. So it makes sense to follow Gears of War, I guess. But okay, then they moved on to an awesome game. All right, they showed some cinematics of Australia, some kangaroos jumping around, and they showed some more cinematics of different areas and everything. I'm like, oh my god, this looks fucking amazing. You get to play in Australia. It's like an open world Australian game.
Yeah.
No matter what this shit is, I'm getting it. And then there's some cars going around. I'm like, fuck, it's a car game. But it turned out to be Forza Horizon. So, why not have, it's actually probably the best car game possibly it could be, Yeah. I think I'm totally going to get this game just because it's in Australia.
Well, firstly, this got leaked for me a couple hours before Microsoft.
Oh, okay.
Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Because you've got Forza Horizon 2. How open world is it?
I have a kind of abridged version of it because I have the 360 version of the game, so it's a slightly different game.
Oh, right.
But it's open world for sure. I just don't know how, because this was set in kind of Europe, so it can connect. It connected between like the French countryside and a bit of Germany and whatever. So I don't know how they'll map out Australia.
Yeah, whether it's just sort of like I know there's sort of like a beach line. There's lots of sort of jungle, foresty area. What else did we see?
Well, there was
there's the sort of the desert.
The desert
kind of in the middle.
I just don't know. What about the cities? That's not really how you portray Australia.
Are there cities in Forza Horizon 2?
Not cities, more towns.
Because there's lots of cities in Europe, so obviously they didn't have to show that.
Sure.
So I mean, there's lots of cities in Australia, but I think they'll just show more countryside.
Yeah.
There's lots of country in Australia, so
fair enough. But no, I mean,
I haven't got a car game at all for Xbox One, so I think this will be my first. I was gonna get Dirt Rally, but you said it was a bit challenging.
Yeah, and I've barely scratched the surface of that game.
I mean, this Forza Horizon, it just looks like a game you could just pick up and just have fun going for a drive.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks cool. Recore was the next game they showed. Looks budget as all hell.
Budget?
Yeah, I mean, it really didn't look like how I expected it. This game was introduced, last year at E3? Mm-hmm. They showed some trailer or something and it looked sort of really good. There was a lot of hype for it and everything. And then they showed gameplay. It looks boring as shit. I can't even remember what the gameplay looked like or anything, but I remember it just being like, this just looks like a crappy game. I'm not going to get it.
Okay, well, I can't remember much of it either. So I don't know. I mean, I need to see more of it actually. So yeah, I don't really want to comment on it.
I just like because you can't even remember it, can you?
No.
I just think for a game like that, you should not have announced it so soon.
Well, it's coming out this year, isn't it?
Yeah, but still, announce it this year then. Not show a trailer
Oh,
for
come
it
on, that's not
build
an
hype last
argument.
year.
That's not an argument. What the hell are you talking about?
Show it at E3 this year.
Yeah, so many other games have been announced years before, and
Well, yeah, but we're talking about Recall now.
yeah,
We're not talking about those games. We're talking about Recall.
your argument is so thin right
It's
now.
not. It's not. All right. They that said September 13.
Okay.
And Forza Horizon 3 September 27. So that's actually not far away.
No, these games are pretty close.
Final Fantasy 15 was the next game that they showed, and
Oh my god, this was the most boring part of the whole.
yeah, I was actually going to agree with you there. So it was the first ever demo they showed, and it was just this massive, epic boss fight, and it was just so boring. It was this big boss thing moving his arm, and you had to sort of dodge it, but you couldn't really dodge it. You just get hit every time.
Yeah.
And all it was you had to sort of linger around and wait for your buddies to show up.
Oh my god, I was so bored. Oh, and there's another really boring thing that's coming up in Microsoft as well. But this, I was pretty on the fence about Final Fantasy. I've never really played Final Fantasy games, and this new Final Fantasy 15 is just so bizarre and out there that it was actually enough for me to actually warrant a purchase just from looking over how weirdly mash up gameplay and emo goth kids driving around in cars in a fantasy land.
Yeah, yeah.
It just sounded outrageous, but this gameplay or this combat, they're boring.
Yeah. I know, it's... Yeah.
They didn't show the right thing, obviously. So.
No, they did not pick the right part of the game. I don't want to see a boss fight.
No.
Just show me actual gameplay, you know? You running around in a forest? No, not a forest. Just open land or something. I don't know.
Well, they've had a demo like that in the past, so...
Yeah, but show us... in the past, show us what it looks like now.
Sure. Okay.
I don't know. That boss fight was boring as all hell. Division Underground. They showed some... They announced some DLC for Division.
Yep.
Not really interesting. Battlefield 1, they showed an actual campaign trailer. So in EA, they focused pretty much on multiplayer. This was just an actual campaign trailer, which was pretty cool. It actually looks pretty cool, the campaign. So, then they went into some Xbox Live features. Some pretty cool features, some pretty unmemorable features. First feature they announced was background music. That was cool.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah. So, like, you pretty much doing anything on your Xbox, playing a game or something, you can literally have background music playing on your Xbox. So.
And that's cool. I mean, I do that anyway when I'm playing Xbox.
Yeah.
So it's
I don't think I'd use it on my Xbox, though. I think I'll just have it on my phone or something like I normally do. Like,
oh, yeah. So I wonder how do you have to, like, import some music into your Xbox?
I don't know.
Or...
And also, like, if you want to pause the music, do you have to, like, quickly get out and then go into your music thing and then pause it?
Yeah,
like, it's just
probably.
easier if I just got it on my phone. Like,
Oh,
I don't know.
well, it'll work way better with the Kinect. You can just tell it. You can just talk to it.
Do you still have your Kinect?
I never got one with it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Actually, yeah. Well, there's parts of the thing you don't even need with Kinect. Go on.
Right. Language options. So a whole bunch of different language options. You can change your language on your Xbox, whatever.
Nice.
Cortana, a digital assistant, will be coming to Xbox. So it's already on Windows 10 at the moment. So yeah, it'll be like your own personal Siri kind of thing on your Xbox.
Yeah, and this, like I said, you don't need Kinect. You can use a headset for this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. So what, you could just say play FIFA and it'll turn on FIFA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
Cool. They came out with clubs, create your own community. So yeah, it's just like maybe I don't know, a Facebook page kind of thing.
Yeah, no idea actually, but I kind of breezed over this. So.
It's clubs like if you're looking for someone who wants to play FIFA online and you can't really find a match anywhere or something when you're trying to play online, you can create a club of anyone who wants to play FIFA join. And then maybe all these people will join. You could all play FIFA together or whatever.
Kind of like Miiverse.
Yeah, kind of like that.
So Nintendo beat them to the punch, huh?
Yeah. Looking for a group, I think that's a separate thing. That's what it says here. I think that sort of goes with the clubs, so it's looking for a group to join or something. And then arena tournament mode. So it's like a club kind of thing, but looking to play online for. FIFA, they announced FIFA that will be joining Arena in the coming years.
All right.
I don't know why they said coming years. It seems like it's 2 or 3 years away. But so that's a pretty big game to join that. All right. After all the whole Xbox Live features spiel, they went back to some games and they came out with Minecraft. Some nerds came out and spoke about Minecraft. They were like unusually happy and
Yeah,
they
and,
looked like they were high or something, especially the dude. They announced some cool things like cross-network play, so doesn't matter what device you're on, you can play.
That's cool.
And then realms, texture packs, I don't know, all this Minecraft bullshit. And man, the stuff that they were showing looked so good, hey? Like when they went into that city, that whole there was like these skyscraper buildings and everything.
Oh, right,
like,
you're right.
how many hours would that have taken? Crazy.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, but
Man, like if I had the time, I would so get into that, hey?
like more and more, I keep seeing more of. Talk about Nintendo. The Mario mashup pack with Minecraft.
Yeah.
That actually might be my selling point into Minecraft now, because that looks incredible. But yeah.
The next bit that they did was really cool, I thought. Customizable controllers. So the whole thing is you design it, we build it. So you can pretty much do this online. The coolest bit about that is you can actually give your controller a name. So there's this little engraved bit down the bottom of the controller. You can type in whatever you want. That's your controller's name, you know. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'll name my controller Woody.
Why?
Because I see Woody just right over there. Woody doll. Moving on.
Right. Yeah. Do you think you'll one day design your own?
If it ever comes to a point where I need a new controller.
Yeah. I think that's the way I'll go as well.
Yeah.
Do you reckon there's like a sensor thing? Like, can you call it whatever the hell you want?
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of barrier to it.
I hope there isn't. Like, I hope I can call it like fuckface or something.
No, they wouldn't. They couldn't do that. I don't know.
Do you reckon someone will actually just type in Xbox One so it says Xbox One on your controller?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Idiots.
Yeah. It's a cool idea. Next game they showed was an indie game from the makers of Limbo, which they announced is free right now. Actually, I just think for E3 week.
I think it's over now, actually.
Inside.
Yeah, they've been talking about this. I've been hearing about this game for many years, actually. But
well, just before we started recording, I actually watched about 10 minutes of gameplay. It looks really cool.
Oh, really? I didn't know there was any gameplay on it.
Yeah, you can find it online now. So
yeah, I'll probably get this. So
well, from the gameplay, from what I saw, you're just like some little boy.
Or just like Limbo, really. Yeah.
Well, I don't really know anything about Limbo, but yeah, you're some little boy running around. I think, is it a sequel or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool though. Cuphead.
Yeah.
I've written down Cuphead. Did they show a trailer or they didn't show like any gameplay? Hey?
No, that was included in the ID at Xbox kind of cut together thing.
Right.
But that is
all the indie games.
Yes.
Cut together. Yeah. So I've written down all of them. I'm just going to go through them all right now. Just got to mention their names. So Cuphead, Outlast, Deliver Us the Moon, Flint Hook, Slime Rancher, Figment, Far, Shadow Tactics, The Culling, For the King, Beacon, Stardew Valley, Hand of Fate 2, Below, Raiders of the Broken Planet, Bloodstained, Yooka-Laylee, Everspace, and I think they mentioned Ark Survival Evolved.
Sorry, there are a few things I want to talk about here. Okay. Where are we? Oh, up here. So, yep. The Culling. Have you ever seen The Culling?
No.
It's pretty much the Hunger Games, the game.
Oh, really?
Oh, Hunger Games meets Battle Royale, which is pretty much
yeah. That's
well.
yeah.
But it's a game like that. You get dropped into the world, into a big arena, and
wow, that's cool.
Yeah, you have to hunt and gather and build weapons, and then when you come across
obviously
players,
it'd be like sort of once you kill everybody, or if you want, you can just do it again or something.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's a good idea for an indie game.
Yeah,
like a short game sort of thing.
I think matches can go. Well, matches have a time limit, and however far you set the time limit. But as time moves on, just like in the Hunger Games, environmental impacts happen.
Yeah, that's cool.
To try and kill everyone off, and to move everyone to the center again, just like in Hunger Games.
Yeah.
So, because this game's been in beta on PC for a bit, and I've seen Let's Plays on it. Really cool game. So, something that I might get into. Stardew Valley. I've talked about this on the podcast before. A game that's just been on PC, but I've always wanted to come to console, and it is like it's here. It's been announced for Xbox, and it's also been announced for Wii U. And I might get it on Wii U because of it might use the gamepad to better use for inventory and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a game just like Harvest Moon, pretty much.
Yeah.
And
but better, apparently.
yeah, it looks awesome. Hand of Fate 2, I really enjoyed the first Hand of Fate, which is like a collectible card game, but it also you play the card game element, and then it dives into like third person combat depending on types of cards you play. So it's a really cool mashup, and sequel sounded exciting. Bloodstained is also like a spiritual sequel to Castlevania.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like a revival, much like Ukulele is to Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
And that's all I actually wanted to talk about.
I found it weird that Ukulele was sort of just in that, like, a little clip in that mashup. Like, Ukulele is so sort of talked about and hyped up or whatever, but we forget that it's sort of just one of these indie games from these developers, you know?
Well, from the sounds of it, like you keep saying indie, then it's not going to be an $80 game, is it?
Yeah, well, that's what we talked about before. It's going to be a cheaper game because it is sort of built in the same style as Banjo-Kazooie. And, of course, if a game like Banjo-Kazooie was released now, it'd be a much smaller game than...
Actually, Banjo-Kazooie was a pretty small game, wasn't it?
Yeah. So...
Yeah.
And there's not as many worlds as there is in Banjo-Kazooie, I'm pretty sure. It's a lot smaller.
Oh, okay. That's whatever. I mean, everyone's still going to buy this game.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, the game that they showed next was really cool. We Happy Few.
Yeah, I'm totally sold on this.
Yeah. This game actually comes out in July 26th.
As a preview, though, isn't it? Or as like a... What's
sure.
what's the program they call it? Like
I just wrote down the date, so
okay.
I forgot.
Okay, yeah, whatever.
But yeah, looks really cool. It's sort of like in a, I don't know, Bioshock kind of environment.
Just about to say Bioshock.
Yeah.
And like the whole, I think the concept of the game, of the world is like, people take this drug called Joy. And it's kind of like...
I thought the game was going to be called Joy when they kept saying that.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to come up with Joy. So, yeah.
But it's kind of like, I guess the Matrix as well, you can describe it to, where people are in this world of like, they can't see the truth because...
Yeah.
They can't see the true world, and then this guy in the trailer like doesn't take his joy.
Yeah.
And then like, for example, they like knock a pinata down or something, and they're all
like a dead pig or something.
Yeah, like a pigeon or a rat. Or
that's crazy.
Yeah, it just it looks awesome.
Yeah, that does.
Awesome concept.
Awesome. Like, do you think it's like a very big game at all?
No, probably like a
2 or 3 hours. Oh, probably 4 hours.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say maybe like 6 or 7 or something.
That's pushing like an actual AAA kind of time.
Well, no, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Gwent, the Witcher card game. I've actually played Gwent on when I played The Witcher.
Yeah.
It was introduced really early in the campaign because I actually haven't played much of it. I played like 5 hours of the campaign, and you're in this bar and some dude, like, this is when I was sort of like, I finished Skyrim, right, like ages ago, and I hadn't played a game like that since in a while, and I was sort of craving that kind of thing again. So I turned on Witcher, and then I got into this really, really sort of mood where I wanted to play this kind of game again. So I was going to get really deep. So I started exploring the world, and I went into this bar, and some dude was just sitting there. So I start talking to everybody and all that, and this dude wants to play Gwent. So I'm like, whatever, I'll sit down and play this stupid card game with him. And it took like 45 minutes of my time playing this card game, hey? And it was so in-depth. Yeah. And I was like, this is really fun.
Yeah.
Like, it was a really good game.
Yeah, I've heard people like, well, I mean, yeah, people got into it as much as they did to warrant an
actual game made out of it. I mean, because you get these sort of side things where, I mean, I know in Far Cry 3, you have these poker matches or card games or whatever that you play. I mean, they're pretty fun, but they're not, they don't warrant an actual game to be made out of it. GTA 5, you can go play some tennis or some golf, but they're not like, they don't spend, hours and hours of making this an actual golf game or tennis game.
Imagine like Rockstar come out with like a GTA Sports spin-off.
Spin-off, yeah. But
I would buy that.
I don't know, this game was just, it was really good.
Yeah, and it looks like, or from what I've read as well, it looks like they're obviously building on what Gwent was in The Witcher.
Yeah.
To make it actually stand out on its own as well. So
Yeah.
it's not just like a... Yeah. But it seemed like it was a bit far away as well to release, because he was talking about a beta. So it doesn't seem like it seems like a 2017 thing to me.
It was just funny because the Elder Scrolls came out with their card game, and it's just like this game comes out, it's like it's gonna kill Elder Scrolls.
I thought these collectible card games would be like a fad or a trend, but hasn't died off yet, at least. So yeah, they're still rolling. Yeah.
Tekken 7 was come out next, and like I didn't know what the game was until it said the title at the end, and it was I was kind of bored throughout the whole thing anyway. I was like, this is some Street Fighter shit. I don't know.
I thought it was Street Fighter 5 because Street Fighter 5 is a PS4 exclusive. And I thought,
oh right,
maybe it's time to come to Xbox.
Come to Xbox, yeah.
But no, Tekken. So whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It's just a fighting game.
It's weird how in Japan the Xbox is an awful selling console.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were saying, like it sells like 200 consoles a week.
I don't think it's that. I think it's like in the double digits.
Oh, that's awful. And for a Japanese, I guess, developed game like Tekken to come to Xbox, no, why not PS4?
Yeah.
So okay, whatever.
Came out with Dead Rising 4. This was an announcement that I had no idea about. Did you know about this?
Are you kidding me? This was leaked.
See, I completely steered away from leaks.
Oh, okay, that's good then.
Everything.
Yeah.
So I went into this fresh mind. The only thing that was leaked for me was the Xbox One S.
Mm-hmm.
So that was it. So yeah, Dead Rising 4. It was pretty cool. It was pretty much. I didn't think Dead Rising 3 was that long ago, but yeah, it was a launch game.
It was a launch, yeah.
So it's been a good 3 years.
Yeah.
By the time it comes out, maybe 3.5 years. So it's a good time for a sequel. Yeah, what'd you think of it?
You know, I might get this, and they keep saying it's a reimagining of the first game.
Yeah.
Because it's the same character from the first game. It's set in Christmas time, and it looks like to be in a mall setting again.
Yeah.
Just like the first game. Yeah. So that's what people are thinking, and that seems cool to me. So, yeah, I might get this one.
Those games are always just silly, hey?
Yeah.
They're not like serious zombie games. They're just...
Can you play co-op with it?
Maybe, yeah.
I'll do co-op on it.
Yeah. We haven't actually played Dead Island in a while.
Oh, man. I haven't played games probably since this time last week.
Yeah.
So, it's been a while.
Then they did Sea of Thieves. I was kind of waiting for this thing throughout the entire conference, and...
You sound disappointed.
Yeah, I was kind of like... I kind of am disappointed. Like, you didn't really get to see much of what you had to do in the game, but I have seen some gameplay after that, and I've heard some people talk about it who had played the game, and it really seems like you have to have people with you to play this game.
Absolutely.
Like, if you're steering the ship, if you're captaining the ship, right, it's first-person view, so if you're steering the ship, all you can see in front of you is the flag. You actually can't see where you're going. So you need people maybe to stand up on the crow's nest or stand to tell you where to go. Otherwise you'll run into things. So you need people to play this game. You have to have your own sort of crew. So it can't just be sort of me and you, so you could lead the way and I can drive the ship, because we'll just get slaughtered by other crews because they'll have more people or whatever.
Yeah.
So it relies heavily on you having lots of people to play multiplayer, and I don't know, it just kind of looks like there isn't really much to do in this game other than get a ship, do some pirate shit, and, you know, I don't know.
That's, well, a lot of people say, like, yeah, you just make your own fun. And I can...
Yeah.
I appreciate games like that, but I don't have the friends to do that with...
It actually looks pretty cool. Some of the side things you could do, like some groups started off doing, like, drinking games at a bar or something. So
it was. I think it was a clever way to actually present the game. They had, 3 groups of 4 people or something?
Yeah.
All in the crew together, and then they were cutting together their gameplay with a face cam at the top. I thought that was a pretty cool way of showcasing the game, but I don't know. It's a shame that this is a brand new rare game that I probably can't buy, you know.
Yeah.
So knowing Rare, it'll be different. It'll be funny. It'll be just like a Rare kind of thing. I don't know, but
Well said.
yeah, just blech.
Let's move on to. There's just 2 more games that they talked about. The next one was just a short trailer for State of Decay 2. When they were showing this trailer, it looked really cool.
So many zombie games.
I know, yeah. There's a lot of zombie games. Zombies are just in right now, though.
They've always been in.
State of Decay 2. It looked very similar to The Last of Us. The very very similar type of gameplay. I've never played State of Decay. Have you sort of played it?
First one was really good.
What's that like? Like, is that always seemed to me like one of those really sort of cheap budget games?
Yeah, it was about $20 or something. Awful graphics. It ran like a dog.
But this one looks really good, like good graphics.
Yeah, it did.
So
the base of the game is it's really based on crew management and item management and build up a base.
It looks like you can really develop your sort of base where you are. Get everybody there and build a nice home for a sanctuary kind of thing.
I mean, I really got into it, but what really pulled me out of it was just the performance of the game was just. Oh, it ran like a 360 game.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, it was a 360 game.
Ran like an Xbox.
Ran
game.
like an Xbox game. That's what I meant to say.
Well, it looks like they've really improved.
Yes, and I remember listening to a very old podcast, years ago, when the game came out, saying that the developer always intended the game to be co-op. Now that State of Decay 2 brings in co-op. So that sounds cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's a game that I'm definitely going to sort of look into more. They only showed a trailer, so we don't really know much about it. But
well, it said 2017 as well. So.
The last game that they showed was Halo Wars 2.
No, I think you're missing something.
What am I missing?
Scalebound?
Oh, I did. I just skipped over it.
Yeah, you sure did.
That was shit.
Yeah, awful, hey.
Just another epic boss fight that they had to show.
Yeah.
It was just crap.
I can't...
These epic boss fights are so boring. I mean, maybe it's just because we're watching it, but oh man,
I was pretty hopeful in this game actually.
It looks like it's sort of like a Monster Hunter game, hey?
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool. I thought it was cool how he got really angry, so he puts it on his headphones. You could just listen to sort of his music that he's listening to.
That is cool.
That's
I
cool.
Like that.
But yeah, I don't know, just boring.
Yeah, I was really bored by this.
He doesn't shut up as well. He just talks and talks.
Yeah, that annoyed me too. That's just like a typical Japanese game translated to English kind of thing.
Yeah.
I can't believe how... I really love Platinum games. I really love Bayonetta. I really love... What else did I do? The Transformers game. And this seems like this is their biggest project happening at the moment. But...
Because the guy, he came out and he spoke about it. It's like... It sounded like it was his life work, and he's speaking about it like, I've always imagined what it would be like to live in a world with monsters, and this is what I've created for you. Here it is. And it's like comes out and it's just like, oh, this is just boring.
Yeah, again, they mightn't have showed the right thing to demo.
Yeah.
So I'm still hopefully optimistic about it, but cautiously optimistic, I should say. But yeah, terrible, just terrible.
Yeah, so what do you think of Halo Wars 2? Did we see gameplay? It was just a trailer. There was a trailer. I know, a cinematic trailer, but I don't know if we saw much gameplay. By the way, if you I think Halo Wars is coming to Xbox One as well.
Oh,
the original Halo Wars.
Yeah, well, yeah, as like a backwards compatible.
I don't know. I it wasn't announced or anything in the E3, but I heard the other one was coming. Sort of remastered or something.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, there's a beta out for, maybe it's over by now, a beta out for Halo Wars 2, so I have seen gameplay since this trailer. I've talked about this before, but I'm so excited for this game.
Yeah.
And I was awfully disappointed when they said February, because that's a very long way away.
Yeah.
But, no, I can't wait. I love the first one, and like you said with the Xbox Play Anywhere or whatever it was called, Halo Wars can finally be played on a PC.
Yeah.
So
cool. As we talk about our last thing for Xbox, do you want me to give you this book so you can sort of flick through to see what game you want to pick for your game of Microsoft?
Yes, give me that.
All right. So the last the last thing that they showed for Xbox was the Project Scorpio. And this thing had already been sort of leaked, I guess, a bit. It had been rumored. I don't think confirmed. But yeah, basically this is a more powerful Xbox that's coming soon.
Next year.
Next year, okay.
I think they said holiday next year.
Yeah. So I don't know who would buy an Xbox One S when this is coming.
Thank you. I was just about to make that argument.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're in the same page.
Because when they
as me.
announced Xbox One S and they showed what it looks like, it's 40% smaller and everything, I'm like, I'm in. I'm getting this. This is like really good. This is what I want. But then they come out with Project Scorpio and it's like, why wouldn't you just wait for this?
Yeah, it was like here's this, no need to buy an Xbox right now. Here's this other Xbox that we're making that's cheaper and slimmer and cooler. Oh wait, no, here's this other Xbox for the gamers, for the 4K player. Like who's going to
Eventually, like 3 or 4 years from now, well, probably maybe 5 years from now, like everything's going to be 4K, you know? There's going to be 4K movies and everything. It's just going to eventually turn. So why wouldn't you purchase something that can play 4K, you know? There's going to be 4K games and all that, and it's just like
the messaging was awful in this, and they didn't, with the announcement of Scorpio, they just got a bunch of developers just raving about it, which was boring. Sorry, but it was boring. And the whole time I could just think like, you know, Scorpio, Hank Scorpio from The Simpsons.
No.
Okay, I'm talking to the wrong person.
No, I don't know who that is.
No. I hope you guys do, dear listener. No, but I don't understand it, and there's been more information about Project Scorpio coming out since the announcement, with Phil Spencer doing some interviews.
Yeah.
Still awfully mixed messaging, because they kept talking about blah 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 teraflops, blah 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 this.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, 4K, and then
this is like when they originally announced like PS3 and all that. They talked about the hardware, the specs, and all that kind of thing. No one cares.
And then now in interviews, this was aimed as 4K. Now in interviews he said like, yeah, it might not even benefit 4K television owners. You might not even run better games or something. And I don't know.
Well, I mean, the good thing about this is that even if they come out with this console or everything, the games that they still come out with, you can still play them on your original Xbox, even if you don't want to buy the new console. Whereas the PS4 argument was, when they release this new one, you can't buy the new games that they release on your original PS4.
No, okay.
So that was the whole argument there, and that's why everybody loved this idea of the Project Scorpio, because they're including everyone. You don't have to buy it.
I guess the big the coolest thing he talked about was how they're breaking console generations. The idea of a console generation is pretty much no longer the way consoles are made are fluid, and just they just go from one step to the other. Yeah, I'm not sure if I really like that, hey, because I like having a really long time with the console, and then having that awesome upgrade, that defined step up, that big event.
Yep.
Now it's just all going to bleed into one another, and graphics are just going to get better and better, but there's still no selling point in there for me each time.
No.
So I just bought an Xbox One. Why do I want to buy a new one just 3 years down the track?
Yeah. It's annoying. I know, but that's what this world is coming to.
Yeah.
Soon it'll be like every year kind of thing, you know, like phones.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess
Eventually.
you're right. Yeah. But
So Game of Microsoft conference, which one stood out to you?
it was actually We Happy Few.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Mine would be Forza Horizon 3.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I'm going for. So far we haven't got the same game here, so
No.
kind of worried about what our argument's going to be for game of E3.
So your next page is actually Sony, but Ubisoft was before Sony.
Oh yeah, I watched them in a different order.
Oh, okay.
So
What should we talk about?
we'll go Ubisoft then.
Okay.
All right, Ubisoft. Jake,
Awful.
the most boring piece of shit ever.
Who's that chick from Friends who keeps coming up? Charlie.
Yeah, I
No,
forgot.
Charlie.
That's the character's name. I forgot. Aisha Taylor.
Aisha Taylor.
Aisha Tyler.
Aisha Tyler.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, she's just awkward.
Really?
She's so cringeworthy and just.
I didn't mind her. Like, she was all right. It's just all the other fucking dudes coming out speaking about their games. Like, really, did they have to have someone come out every single time to talk about their game? There was a game called Grow Up. Do you remember that game?
Yeah, because I remember the prequel, because that's a sequel to whatever the other game is. Whatever.
Anyway, they showed like a 2-minute trailer and some guy has to come out and speak about it for a bit. Like, seriously, you don't need that.
Yeah.
Okay, the worst part of the conference, when they spoke about the Assassin's Creed movie.
Oh, really? See, I didn't actually mind that. That kind of cleared up a few things about the movie for me.
Oh, wow. Because I've got to be honest, that's the only part of E3 that I didn't watch. I skipped over it.
Oh, wow.
But it's an E3 games conference. I don't want to hear about a movie.
Yeah, but come on, it's Ubisoft. They have to mention Assassin's Creed.
It went for 2 hours. And look, I've got half a page of games.
Yeah, it was.
Microsoft went for an hour and a half and I've got 2 pages of games.
It was really long. I had to watch it in 2 parts, actually.
Like,
yeah.
it's ridiculous. I was so bored. Anyway, they started off with Just Dance 2017.
Yeah, actually,
they didn't show anything for. They just danced on stage. Anyway,
because I didn't watch this live, so when I went onto YouTube, and obviously on YouTube they upload the whole stream, which of like 5 hours or something.
Oh, okay.
And then so I went to the comments to see where I can skip into.
Yeah.
And someone told me to skip directly into the next game, which is Ghost Recon. So I missed this.
Oh, right. It was just some weird thing. They're dancing on the stage. They didn't show any like actual. I don't know if there's gameplay for Just Dance or anything, but maybe the song they were playing is from Just Dance. Anyway, they just talked about it for a bit, and then I don't know. There was all these weird giraffe costumes and all these animal costumes dancing, and then Aisha Tyler comes out, and then she says her whole thing about we're really sorry to hear about the tragedy of Orlando or whatever, and this giraffe's next to her just nodding along. It's just like, what the fuck?
Well, the only thing to bring up about Just Dance was that they announced it for NX.
Oh, yeah. She actually said for the Nintendo NX, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't think they should have done that.
Why?
Because if they're saying that for NX, why not anything else? You know, they keep saying all these other games, PS4, Xbox One.
Well, that's probably not on the NX.
I don't want to hear that.
Well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but that's probably reality. Nothing's coming for the NX. Yeah, so Ghost Recon Wildlands, what did you think of that?
They spent too long on it.
I actually was quite interested in the mission that they did. It was pretty fun to watch. The only bad feedback I have about that is no one realistically plays like that.
I was just about to say, is that the in-game dialogue? Or is that people...
No, that's people talking to each other.
Get lost. No one talks like that.
But this is the same thing that they did with when they played The Division. I literally thought that was dialogue from the game.
Yes.
But then it was just people talking to each other.
Division, and when they showed Rainbow Six Siege as well.
Yeah, that as well. I was going to say that as well. So no one plays like that.
No.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, man. Well, that's... Yeah. I'm not going to get this game.
It looks really hard as well.
Well,
I remember Ghost Recon
Advanced
Warfare or something. Warfighter.
Yeah.
I played that on the PC. That was really hard.
Yeah, those
really
games are
hard.
difficult, hey. But yeah, March 7, far away. I don't know. Yeah, I can appreciate these games, and the open world looks great. And what was the concept of the game? Like if they turn a country into a drug operation, or like the drug cartel.
Yeah, they're
essentially
there to
runs
stop
the country.
Some dude or, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's not something I'm going to get. I thought they spent a bit too long on South Park Fractured But Whole.
No.
Come on, those guys came out and talked for a bit long.
I'll say that for non-South Park fans like yourself, that was way too long, actually.
Yeah.
But for me, I was laughing the whole way. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like I said,
for non-South Park fans, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But, no, yeah, they got Matt Stone and Trey Parker up, and I was talking about the game, and they cut together with gameplay parts. The game looks exactly the same, like Sick of Truth, which is fine because it looks exactly like the cartoon. So that's cool. And so this time around they're going with superheroes, and you can play as a girl now, whereas in the first one you can play as a boy.
Gender options.
Wow, yeah. I don't know. I was already sold on this game, and yeah, I can't wait for it.
Yeah, still, I don't think I'm going to get it. You
No.
really got to be, you really got to have to watch the show.
Yeah, and obviously enough people do, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. They came out with another Division expansion called Survival, and it looks like they showed sort of this graphic of these 5 other expansions yet to come as well. So
They did, yeah.
So quite a few Division things coming. The next bit they showed, man, my God, an entire match of Eagle Flight.
Oh my god, what was this?
I mean,
Oh.
man, they could have just showed some trailer or some gameplay. Did they have to play an entire match?
Yeah, this is
I mean, they could have just showed someone winning the game first, like getting the, what is it, the whatever they're carrying over to the Eiffel Tower or something. They could have just shown one, but they did 3 rounds. Come on. And after round 2, a team had already won. But no, let's play round 3.
It was cool that they got, what was he, like a soccer commentator?
Well, I didn't pay attention. I don't know.
He was some kind of like official sports commentator.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
that was all right, but no. Ugh.
I don't know.
It's oh man, and we'll get into this later. Actually, no. Keep going. What's the next game? Okay, we'll keep going.
Just one more thing about Eagle Flight, right? This game does look pretty cool, interesting to play once.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
it. You know, that's it. Yeah, Star Trek Bridge Crew VR.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So wow, this game is literally nothing. You're just part of a crew on the bridge of a Star Trek thing, and you're just talking about things and giving orders and press a button.
This will be cool for like
Star Trek nerds.
Star Trek nerds,
Yeah.
sure, and just like in the same vein as I'm a South Park nerd.
Yeah.
That's awesome, but yeah, this
I don't
felt-
think there'd be. Maybe I'm wrong. Is there a big audience of Star Trek nerds watching Ubisoft Conference?
I think there's a crossover.
Yeah.
I think Star Trek and gaming goes hand in hand.
Yeah, true.
But so this is what I want to talk about with Eagle Flight, how they represent VR games on stage.
Yeah.
You are looking at this thought hit me when they were showing Star Trek, because they showed film footage of like each generation of like Star Trek actors in different Star Trek roles. Like they had LeVar Burton and some chick and some other guy. I just remember LeVar Burton. But they intersliced gameplay with footage of these Star Trek people with VR headsets on, playing and laughing and talking along. And I just thought, wow, this is our future. People
Yeah.
sitting in a living room, headsets on, just like
Yeah.
zoned out.
How
and-
funny was that shot when it showed the people of Eagle Flight and they were just all bobbling heads
yeah,
around? and
right.
everything?
Yeah. Oh,
That was so fun.
that's actually frightening.
But like when you look at these VR headsets, they're very, very early tech. Like 20 years from now, people are going to laugh at those. It'll just be some normal glasses that you wear, you know? It'll just be like glasses. That's it.
Yeah. Then we have these like big bricks on our face. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't stop laughing about. There's these 4 people in the living room, like, sure, like socializing, connecting, but there's at the same time they're like disconnected from each other.
Yeah.
In their own little world.
Yeah, that's why I don't like where this is going now.
No, and like you said, where this is going, I'd say every conference at E3 had VR elements.
Yeah. And next year it'll be even more.
Yeah.
So, okay, next game, For Honor.
Oh, okay. I want to talk about this because they revealed this at last year's Ubisoft conference.
Yeah,
This is the
yeah.
first thing they talked about, and they showed multiplayer. I was really interested in this game because
It doesn't look like this button masher game.
Well, yeah,
It
no,
actually looks like there's some technique involved.
yeah.
Yes.
But this game very much looks like a game I like to watch over YouTube, but don't play because it's PC only. Called War of the Roses.
Okay.
And it's a multiplayer medieval kind of game where it's all entirely skill based. So to swing your sword, you have to like click and move your mouse around in the direction you want to swing your sword, kind of thing. So there's no button mashing. That it's all skill based, and this is what kind of For Honor looked like to translate their game into a console experience, which sounded cool, which looked cool in the initial multiplayer demo, and then this time around they showed a campaign, and what I like about War of the Roses is that there's no telegraph. The telegraphing into where you have to block your enemy is based on where he's swinging his sword, not showing you, oh, go left, like not an indicator saying like go left or go right.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to decide that on your own. Whereas this, For Honor, it's telling you where to swing your sword, so no skill, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It tells you what to do, and maybe
Can you turn that off?
I was going to say maybe there's an option to turn that off.
Yeah.
And I would have that option turned off because that's not fun to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool to have a game like that where it's, I don't know, you get nervous to actually have a sword fight, you know, one wrong move.
Yeah, and
Ouch, you know.
that seemed like the way that this game was, like the creepy Game of Thrones character who looked like he was out of the Game of Thrones universe, the developer of this game, and he came.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The guy with the walking stick,
Yeah.
and he like grunted on stage, like he came out of Lord of the Rings or something.
Yeah.
It seemed like that's the vision he had for the game, like portraying actual warfare, and like the emotions and shit you get from a real sword fight. But yeah, this trailer fell flat to me. So I mean, it's still fair away. I think they said 2017 now.
Yeah.
So they announced it last year. Just got to wait for it.
This year. It could be at E3 next year.
Ugh, man, if they do that, typical Ubisoft move.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, then they showed Grow Up, which is just a small trailer of some weird little bot thing. But this guy come out afterwards speaking about it, and he goes, "You play as bot, you stumble out," and then he does a little stumble as.
Oh yeah, doesn't he say like blah blah? Oh, if I can remember my words or something.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He's like, and that's like it was scripted as well.
Yeah.
Just because he wanted to say a joke, but no one laughed. Oh, that was bad. But anyway, yeah, he was awkward. It was so bad. And then some dudes came out, and then they announced Trials of the Blood Dragon.
Oh yeah. So I've actually because that got announced, and that's released just right there and then.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
So I watched actually Let's Plays of this, and it looks crazily over the top.
Really,
It looks
yeah.
unreal, but whatever. I'll never play it. I'll just watch
Yeah,
it.
probably not.
Yeah.
Okay, then they spent a long time on Watch Dogs 2.
Long time.
I skipped through a lot of it, although, but that's because like I've already seen a lot of Watch Dogs 2. Like I watched that 20-minute thing that came out before E3, and I watched some of it, but I don't want to see too much of it. Watch Dogs 2 does look really good. And I'm really looking forward to actually being in an open world of San Francisco. They've chosen a really good setting for it. A lot more better than... did they have Chicago or something like that? Yeah.
Oh, Detroit. No, I think it was Chicago.
Something like that. But anyway, the big difference here is I never really got Watch Dogs before because the world looked very dark and dingy and it just doesn't excite me. This world is nice and bright and everything. It's just... I don't know, it's much more inviting to get. You've also got a black protagonist.
Yeah.
It's a lot more interesting than that other dude.
Yeah.
And he's he's just this cool guy. He looks like he's, young and just hates, authority, government kind of thing. It looks cool.
Yeah, actually, so, yeah, the biggest problem everyone had with the original Watch Dogs was the protagonist, no one could get his motivations right. No one could understand his motivations because I think it was like he wanted to have redemption for one of his family member was killed or something, but he was a hacker, right? Or is he a murderer? Or is he a mercenary? You have no idea. Whereas this guy, or I forget his name, in Watch Dogs 2 is a... What's like, they're part of like a social media hack group or something?
Yeah.
Whatever, but yeah.
It's like that anonymous kind of thing.
Yeah, so they've got clear motivations, and then the guy, them playing through the demo of the mission, he wasn't outright shooting people for the sake of it. He was doing it stealthily. He was tasing people.
Yeah, you don't have to kill anyone at all. You have the option not to kill anyone.
And I really enjoy that, and yeah, I'm so into this game.
Yeah, it's cool. The other game that I don't think was at E3 at all, they showed gameplay, but it wasn't at a conference, was Mafia 3, who also has a black protagonist.
Mafia 3 was shown at the PC gaming show.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mafia 3 looks really cool because you get to play as this guy who was a Vietnam War vet who's just come home from Vietnam, That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's I'm
It's
interested
PC.
in that.
It's PC only. So
Yeah. Well. Anyway. So yeah, Watch Dogs 2 looks cool.
Yeah.
I think it might be something that I might pick up.
I am definitely buying this. Yeah.
Cool. The last game that they ended with was a new IP called Steep.
Oh yeah.
What did you think of this?
Yeah. It looks cool. But yeah. I don't know.
This is one of those games where they went a bit too long as well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the show just needed to end at this point. Yeah, so I don't know. There's not many things you can do in this game. It looks like it's just sort of pick up, maybe go for a ski, go for a wingsuit glide kind of thing, and then put it down. I mean, what else? It's an online game. You do it with your friends, and then they showed this cool replay thing where you could show a cinematic replay of what you do and everything. And then I don't know what else. What else do you do in that game?
It's one of those games where you just make your own fun, and I'm excited to see let's plays of it.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
I'm never gonna.
It could be like a whole sort of playlist dedicated to huge stuff ups or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I appreciate that what they're doing with it because
it just made me want a new Skate game. It had the same sort of font as Skate. It sounds like Skate, but it's Steep. So
yeah, it's cool that they're doing. This is different for sure.
Extreme sports. I don't think has Ubisoft really done an extreme sports game.
God, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But they spent too long on it and blech, whatever.
So game of Ubisoft. What do you think?
Oh, Watch Dogs for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say Watch Dogs.
Hang on, let me keep looking. No, yeah, Watch Dogs.
Yeah. Star Trek?
Star Trek?
It's called Star Trek Bridge Crew VR.
Only if I can have LeVar Burton in my living room.
Yeah, see, I don't know who that is.
No, he's from Star Trek. He wears the visor.
Right.
All right.
I don't know.
You'll see him you'll know when you see him.
So Jake, what do you want to do? Do you want to do another show with Sony and Nintendo?
Oh, do you think we got a lot to talk about?
Well, with Nintendo, you know how we go on with Nintendo. I think we could separate it.
I think this is a good time to leave it because, like spoiler for the next show, Sony won E3.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sony had the best conference, hands down.
Actually, no, let's separate because I want to talk a lot about Sony's games.
Cool.
Okay.
So, anything else you want to talk about? So let's just sum up E3 so far. Pretend you haven't seen Sony or Nintendo.
At this point, I was kind of just mediocre to everything.
I don't know. I enjoyed Microsoft.
Yeah.
Huge downer with Ubisoft.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, our standout games so far have been Titanfall 2, FIFA 17, Skyrim, Prey. What did you say for Microsoft? We Happy Few. What was mine? Oh, Forza Horizon 3 and Watch Dogs 2.
So
both of us agree on something. Finally.
Oh yeah. See, look at that. All sequels or remakes or
pretty much.
Except for We Happy Few.
Pretty much, yeah.
So oof.
You've got an original game on there.
So by this, I mean, I
think you'll be very surprised with my choice for Nintendo, though. Just saying. Spoiler.
Oh, true. They did announce a few other things actually, or they did talk about a few other things.
Yeah.
So at this point, I for us in Australia, Microsoft started at 2:30 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
So I tried to stay up. I fell asleep maybe an hour before, and I'm kind of glad I didn't stay up for it.
That's the same thing you did with another one, wasn't it?
Nintendo.
Yeah.
Nintendo, because what reports were saying that with Nintendo we're going to kick off with a Pokemon trailer, then the Zelda trailer, and I thought that's cool. I'll stay up for that. Then I'll be happy to go to sleep.
Because it started at 2 a.m. again.
Yeah. I fell asleep 10 minutes before or something, and then I woke up like 2:30, and they were playing Zelda. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. So I didn't get to watch the trailer with everyone else in the world. But well, I guess we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, this is a weird E3 for me. This is the first E3 where I've literally been working straight through it all. So I had to come home from work and just catch up on everything. Mm-hmm. It's actually an alright way of doing it. I had to get someone else to load up the videos for me so I didn't see anything. Oh. And so I could block out the suggested videos as well, just so I didn't see any announcements or anything. Because they're pretty much just all, game announcements or whatever.
Sure.
So yeah, so I watched it. I got through it without getting anything spoiled, so it was pretty good. I had to stay away from everything though, even my emails. Like I get emails from sort of like, you know, EB or something. They'll with all their announcements, and everything.
Yeah.
I just subconsciously just go into it straight away, and I'm like, oh crap, turn it off. So yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So those 4 days worth of staying away from everything. When it came to Nintendo though, I just kept up to date with everything. I didn't wait to come home to see anything because they were all day events. So I kept up to date with those. But
yeah. So yeah, by at this point at E3, I was pretty disappointed because I knew what was to come. I knew what I was still expecting.
Yeah.
But again, it's the whole thing where I've been saying like people shouldn't be hyping up E3 to the thing that it should be. You know. It's just cool to see game announcements in this fashion, and people shouldn't expect anything more from that. You know. Were there, talking about the conferences we just talked about, going back to our predictions, did we get anything right or did we get anything wrong? I can't remember.
I can't really remember either. I mean, I know I mentioned the Star Wars games, which I got right. We both said that they'd open with Gears of War 4, which they pretty much did. Did we mention Quake?
No.
We did say Skyrim HD.
I think you...
Well, I think I did, yeah. What else? No one said Dead Rising 4. No one said a new Tekken. We both said, Halo Wars is already announced.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we had any of our we were pretty tame with our predictions, I got to admit. Like we weren't really out there.
Pretty much. I mean, I think we only did some out there ones from Nintendo, things that we wanted.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like, the best is yet to come, I think.
Yes, I agree. So yeah, we'll leave it there, and we'll hopefully tomorrow.
I could do tomorrow.
Cool. We'll be straight away up with our next podcast. So until then, we'll see you later.
See ya.